Salutations, School Believer. Do you have a dream of becoming an entrepreneur, but don't know where to start or even what to do? Where can I gather information quickly about what's in my zone of genius? Don't worry, School Believers. I got you covered. Go to tuepodcast.net/AI prompt and check out an amazing set of AI prompts that will give you ideas, information, and articles to help you get across that start line. Once again, go to tuepodcast.net/AI prompt to get you started now. Good luck, School Believer. Undiscovered Entrepreneur, episode number 31. And now for something completely different. Welcome to the Undiscovered Entrepreneur, the podcast where brand new entrepreneurs come to life and could quite possibly be discovered. Join me, DJ Scoob, and the rest of the Scoob Believers as we help these new businesses become a reality. And now, away we go! We now join the coaching of Meatloaf the Piercer, along with DJ Scoob, already in progress. What I'd like to do here is, now I want to understand your entrepreneur adventure is you're a tattoo artist and a piercer, correct?
I'm a body piercer, and it's my wife who's a tattoo artist.
Okay.
But we're basically a team. Yes.
Awesome. Yeah, it's always nice to be able somebody to do that with, especially when it's your spouse.
Yes, yeah. We work at the same facility together, and have done so off and on for pretty much our entire 20-year relationship.
Nice. That's amazing. That's always nice. What I like to do here is just I'm going to talk with you a little bit and just be here to answer any questions you have about your entrepreneur adventure and just see what you have on mind. So tell me a little bit about exactly what I know you're a piercer and a tattoo artist, but kind of explain how that all worked out and how that kind of came about.
Okay. Well, I actually didn't see myself living the life of an artist. I worked in a demolition crew company right out of high school. And a gentleman that I worked with named Rich said one day he was going to open a tattoo shop and that I would be his piercer. He manifested this idea, and somehow he made that into a reality. He eventually learned to tattoo, opened a shop, and when all that came about, he offered me the position to learn to become his piercer, and just one foot in front of the other. That's how that became. And in doing so, it's how I met my girlfriend and now wife, Mandy, and how our relationship and business adventure kind of blossomed going forward.
That's amazing. It's amazing how you can be doing one thing and then suddenly you're a piercer,
Yeah.
Out of the blue, out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's and I do honestly still have a fear of needles. I don't want to get shots or get my blood drawn, but yet, artistically, I can perform things with needles on other people without question.
As long as it's on other people and not yourself, right?
Exactly.
That's awesome. All right, so Anthony, tell me what's on your mind. I mean, can you give me just a couple things you'd really like to talk about in your entrepreneur adventure and some things that that you're having trouble with?
Well, when it comes to my wife and I, we're more than just her tattoo artist and me a body piercer. We also have a enamel pin business and sticker business called Rebel Art Empire. Mm-hmm. And Rebel Art Empire, Mandy, my wife, designs very Star Wars themed enamel pins, stickers, and we sell them on Etsy. Something that happened on accident during the pandemic that now has become, a business, and moving forward, that's where we see ourselves moving forward, is not, me poking holes and her scribbling on people, but yet putting our art in, her art and me just packaging it up, in people's homes, all over the world. Tattooing and piercing, our reach isn't as big as, we have clients purchasing us from Etsy as far as Australia, and other sides of the globe, and just to have almost all 50 states, possibly all 50 states, to have our art. And that's really where our goal is to really create a future entrepreneurship that as we get older, we have something that is going to keep going forward and not fizzle out.
All right. That's amazing. That is awesome. So how did that come about? I mean, that has to be a story in itself, isn't it?
It is. And I think I can make it quick and simple. We had tickets to go to Chicago Star Wars Celebration in 2019. And Mandy, my wife, had saw on Facebook a group called the Swag Crew. And the Swag Crew was a group of Star Wars individuals that created art, and they didn't sell it at Star Wars Celebration. They just gave it away.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just a way to interact with strangers, make friends, and then they would have these like trading opportunities going on set at certain times and even in certain rooms. And my wife, being an artist, she wanted to make stuff to just pass out and give away. And then going forward, the next Star Wars Celebration was announced that would happen in 2020, which, as we know, would get rescheduled because of COVID. Well, she created stuff that we would pass out. And when COVID had happened, we just sat on this merchandise. And it was like, well, she wanted to still create. So Rebel Art Empire was born. We started putting it out for sale to finance the next set of stuff that was meant to give away. And we wanted to keep that idea going forward. So in our business, no matter what you buy from us, we are giving you almost an equal amount, if not more than what you spent price tag wise for free just from ordering from us, because we're grateful and thankful. And that's kind of our business motto, is to share a little more than what you ask for.
All right. That's great. Do you have like a tagline or something like that? Like words that kind of describe who you are and what you do? Like, because my tagline is I can, I am, I will, and I'm doing it today.
I like that too, by the way. That is actually something that really attracted to me to your podcast, is what your son had wrote, right?
Right. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So, do you have anything like
Yeah.
that? Because in everything that you explained to me just now, I can hear like you coming up with something like that for yourself that you can actually use as an umbrella term that people will know you by. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I don't have an exact tagline other than, my nickname and, Meatloaf the Piercer, which is my handle across social media. But as something to leave that positive taste in your mouth, I don't, and I should.
I think that's something that will definitely help your business. It's helped me. People recognize me, just like you said. Having something like that I think, would be beneficial. Just like even at a starting point, because that you can use that as a main pillar building block. Your everything is. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. And that's with Mandy and myself, being entrepreneurs. We're trying to be a known name, but when it comes to like social media and even exposing ourselves personally, for some reason we're both very shy at that part. So there's a lot of people, a lot of brands out there will post themselves with their brand, and that's something we rarely, rarely, rarely do.
So, it sounds to me, what's funny is you seem to me when I first like talked to you on social media and that kind of thing, you seem like a very much an extrovert. But you talking to me face to face right now, explaining the things you are, or the way you're explaining things, you sound more like an introvert at the same time. And
I agree.
yeah, getting out of your comfort zone of I understand being an introvert and an extrovert. I understand how that works. I am very much an extrovert, no matter what I do and where I go. That's just how I am. But being able to get out of that comfort zone of being an introvert is might be something you have to think about when you're wanting to build up the entrepreneur side of what you're trying to accomplish. Now, it doesn't have to be great, grand videos and whatever. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be huge, but just like give somebody an idea that there's a face behind what's going on.
Yeah, that's what I notice. At least when I recognize everyone else's foot forward of their brand, I'm seeing them. I'm seeing the man and woman behind the curtain, and um, I always kind of wished, especially my wife being the artist, and we're both equally shy when it comes to that aspect. And in the tattoo shop where I'm piercing and she's tattooing, it's a whole different attitude. And I always tell my clients, if I see him outside of work, I seem shy and very to myself, but in person they feel I'm this outgoing, fun, extra wild, energetic person. And I tell them that's just a character I play at work, and something I really need to add to my social media content as well, even at a small percentage. So yeah, people do see not necessarily me, but when it comes to Rebel Art Empire, my wife, and then as a jewelry salesman, because I am that as well. It is nice for people to say, "Hey, I recognize that guy. He sold me my gem sparkly."
That's good. Okay. So, anyway, keep in mind about, kind of getting out of that comfort zone. The other thing too, what I'd like to ask is, what are you trying to accomplish with your business, and what have you tried so far, and where are you getting stuck?
Well, I guess what I'm trying to accomplish is enough well, I guess enough revenue to keep coming in to where if there was another global pandemic, we can survive, creating art from home. Um, but going forward, more of a financial um, reassurance of, once we're too old to deal with the public eventually, no one's going to want old man Meatloaf to do their belly piercing. And who's to say that my wife is going to have as straight of a line going forward 10, 20 years, and with a digital tablet to help with her art, there's an autocorrect button now if a line looks a little squiggly that
Yeah.
fixes that. There isn't that on skin yet.
Right. Yeah. Well, I'm sure that'll come eventually.
Yeah. So that's really is more of what can her and I put forward where we artistically will be able to create. I may not be able to put it on paper, but I do feel I'm a good positive influence on ideas that help her transform those ideas to images, which become t-shirts, enamel pins. Stickers is our number one seller. We try to keep things fair priced, and you can get a sticker sent to your house for less than $3. It's kind of an easy purchase for Etsy, which isn't profitable on our end, but we enjoy it. So we need to increase all those other revenues to try to not give away her art, essentially.
Right. Doing something you can give away for free and feel good about it, that's beyond any kind of monies that you can get. So I completely feel you there. That's why I do my podcast. It's the same thing. It's something I could do to give to other people to help them out. But at the same time, they're starting to learn who I am and what I'm about and things of that nature. And as far as the money comes, the money is a byproduct of the services and the people that you talk to. So it really kind of boils down to that more than just money. And I think you realize that. And that's awesome because
Yeah.
you're so far from what I'm hearing. That's exactly the right moves to be doing.
Well, that's always been both of us is, we want to be more giving. And if we were financially able to, we would give everything away.
Right.
If that was what we were able to do, we want to, and that was where that swag crew really influenced us. It was such an amazing experience that strangers just wanted to give you things.
Hmm.
And I can't even put into words, some of the heart behind hand stitched, sewn, made things, not just a printed third party company artwork. some people put their blood, sweat, and tears just to hand you something to that will forever change you on the inside. And that's what and that's where our business kind of stemmed from. And we want those roots to always be there, where you don't feel like you just gave money to the man, but you supported a small business, and by doing so, we shared the wealth and put an extra smile on your face. Just our reviews alone on Etsy, I would say half of them is the about the bonuses, not what they bought from us, that they like, what it done for them. And some people have even reached out and said, how they needed that little extra boost of positivity that just, made their day for that moment. And, we're just a store selling stickers. And to get that type of, response is everything to us. And that's what we want to go forward, is we don't want that to ever stop. We want to be able to create positivity along with create sales.
All right. Well, you're doing the right thing. You're definitely doing the right thing, and I see you going the right direction of that so far. So that's awesome. Okay, I think I have enough to work with here. Couple things. One thing that kind of sticks out at my mind, first of all, is so the stickers and whatever you're making, is it all Star Wars themed, right?
For the most part, her art goes all over, but yes, our Etsy store is 100% Star Wars. Others had one like Frozen poster print once.
Okay. So, and this is more of a curiosity for me more than anything else, but do you run into or have you thought about copyright infringements and how that could possibly be an issue?
Well, so because it's all her version of the art, we've actually received a letter from a major company manufacturer, a cease and assist on a particular item that we had put out in our store. And it was the lettering, not the imagery. Her
Okay.
version of the imagery is her version, just like how she does tattoos, because she doesn't trace anything or color anything line for line. If she sees the Mona Lisa, it's her version of the Mona Lisa, not copy version of theirs. And when the cease and assist that and it was through Etsy as well, was based on the lettering. And the funny thing is that particular merchandise wasn't available yet because it was a new show coming to one of those networks. And she matched the lettering before they even had did it. So it was just
It's one of
and
those
she's a
things.
tattoo artist. Yeah, she does
Yeah.
lettering for a living. So it was a little more than luck. She knows how the brand works, and kind of one-offed her on her own, and it was a little too close. So
Right.
it was something we couldn't sell, but we could easily just give it away. So we only had 100 of a certain button, and every one of them just became a free item included with purchases.
Awesome. Okay. That's always the one thing, especially when it comes to something like Star Wars or Disney or anything like that. That's one of the first things that come across my mind, obviously, is copyright infringement and things of that. Like my guys here, this is supposed to be Scooby Doo, but Scooby Doo is a pug because I don't want to use Scooby Doo's likeness because it's owned by Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
So what I did is I turned Scooby Doo into a pug, and that's my logo right there. So I always worry about that though. So what have you done so far up to this point? You have the Etsy store, right? Have you done
Yep.
anything else to get your products out into the public besides the Etsy store and say social media?
Well, February of next year, 2023, we have our first convention.
Okay.
In Toledo, Ohio, is a 2-day comic book, and it's a very smaller comic book con convention toy
Uh-huh.
show called Fantasticon, and that will be our first actual booth. And
Ooh.
because we have so much toys and stuff just surrounding us that takes up a lot of space, I didn't get your typical art booth that would be in the artist area selling just our pins. We're going to have a toy booth selling massive amounts of Star Wars collectibles and have our booth of merch, of stickers, t-shirts, which aren't even on our Etsy store, art prints that aren't always available on our Etsy store, more that we sell in shop to clients. And we're that's going to be our first small step into possibly traveling and doing it out of state. We're located in Michigan, just in the greater Detroit area, and Toledo, Ohio is about less than an hour drive for us. So it feels very local still.
Right.
This this upcoming weekend is the Motor City Comic Con, which isn't far from us either. We do not have a booth, but we do plan on trying to attend possibly next Sunday, a week from today, and just randomly giving away some of our swag, as we would call it, and everything would have our brand name, and in hopes that those people would take photos of it, post it on social media, tell a friend. And in our 20 years as in the body art industry, our main way of promoting ourselves has always been word of mouth. We started at the brink of social media. My first account was on MySpace to tell people that I was a piercer. And we always wanted other people to post on MySpace and talk about us and keep it more like a secret society and not everyone was welcome, even though everyone is type mentality. That's kind of how we feel, even with our business. We kind of want you to talk about us more than us to say, hey, we're over here.
Right. That's the way to do it too, because I mean, being able to hear it from actual person instead of like looking it up is a lot more. It just does a lot better for you. It's more credible,
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's good to hear you doing trade shows. That was actually going to be one of my suggestions, but looks like you already hit that. That's great. Let me ask you this question: Have you ever heard of or started an email list?
I am familiar. On my personal website, meatloafthepiercer.com, for my piercing, I do have a function where people can sign up for on there. And I have yet to figure out how to access that on the back end, where that even is. My original web designer that was a personal friend of mine that set my website up has since become very high in demand in the computer world, where I can't afford his services anymore. And I've never even figured it out. So no, to answer your question, no, I haven't done that yet. And we have no mass emails sent to anyone other than what Etsy provides.
Right. So, can you at least get him on the phone and say, "Hey, can you tell me how to get to my emails that you gave me?" Just find a way to do it. I mean, he should at least be able to tell you how to get to your emails without charging you. It's his website.
Yeah, he would. He's just a very busy guy with his family life now. He's got two little ones, and he's always working remotely. He's no longer in Michigan, where I know him from. He's a friend from high school that has since went on to bigger, better, greater things. Very well accomplished web designer, computer all around guru at this point.
Okay.
That I almost feel embarrassed that I don't know how to do it yet, and I'm sure it's more simple than I give it credit for. And I don't know why, but I went backwards with computers. I started in the beginning trying to learn it as it evolved, and then it just went so far forward that I couldn't keep up.
Yeah, I feel like that sometimes too. Like things are advancing just so much faster than I can handle that it just kind of gets away from you.
Yeah, and this is only maybe my third or fourth Zoom. I've had the app on my phone, and I have it on my computer, and I wasn't really sure if I wanted to do it on the computer, if I wanted to do it on the phone, what was going to be the easiest. Um, I know with my phone I can connect my Bluetooth headpiece, so I figured that would be the easiest for both of us communicating anyway.
It doesn't matter. It all accomplishes the same thing no matter where you do it. So it's perfectly whatever you're comfortable with is good. That's what works. Something that kind of comes out in my head for this particular point, especially the trade show. The trade show is actually going to be a great opportunity for you to build an email list. So, what I
Okay.
would do while you're in that trade show, if you have, it sounds like you're going to have some giveaways in that first trade show that's coming up.
Yes.
I would actually in some way, shape, or form have something they could fill out on the receipt or something where they can leave their email list for future deals or something along those lines, and start your email list.
Yeah. Or you were just about to say it. They get their free swag if they sign up for the email list.
Well, yes, but sometimes people are a little guarded about their email address. So I think more people are going to be apt to give you an email list if you give them an option
Okay.
of giving email. I think they're going to be more willing. If you say, "Hey, can I have your email?" instead of, "Hey, give me your email and I'll give you this free whatever." But
Yeah.
I mean, this is a whole different crowd that I'm used to. So use your better judgment. If you think those people are going to be more apt to give you an email, if like you were talking about, then cool.
I think you're actually right, because then it just seems like I'm giving you something and I'm just going to sell it off. But, if they feel rewarded, like, hey, I like you. Yeah, I want you to have my email because I want more of what you have to offer.
Exactly, and the emails that you get are going to be more credible that way.
Exactly. Yeah, because I know in the past of the free thing at a sporting event, I didn't always give them the correct address to get the free gift.
Yeah, exactly. I came across a lot of that when I sold cars because I'm a 16-year car salesman. We'll have this free giveaway. They'll just come in and take the giveaway and go home because they don't want to book. They don't want to buy a car. They just want the free stuff. So
Yeah,
if it,
yeah.
it's kind of the same thing. So the trade show is going to open a lot of doors for you as far as getting email addresses, getting your name out there. So it's definitely a great step. Do you have, and any of your stickers or business cards or anything like that, do you have a QR code that goes to your website?
Not a direct QR code, but we'll have the printed website or the recommended hashtag usually on everything.
So what I've noticed lately is having a QR code that goes directly to your website or something that goes to, say, a free giveaway or something like that to get your name onto people's phone directly is a lot more effective.
Okay.
So, like, if I do a hashtag, okay, hashtag blah, 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 somebody actually has to type that out on their phone to go to wherever, right? But having a QR code, you just stick it underneath their camera and they click and they're there. You see what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
do the same. I do the same thing for my when I'm talking to somebody about my podcast, and they say they're interested in my podcast. So I say, here, scan this. Boom. I hit a button. Pops up on Spotify right there, and they follow me on the spot.
Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Reducing the friction of people getting to where you want them to go is a huge, huge saver. So the less friction it is to get to somebody to your website or get to somebody to your stickers or something like that, the better off you're going to be.
Yeah, that makes actually more sense because, I'm more likely to scan it with my phone now when I see those QR codes than physically type, hey.com. So yes, I agree, and without even thinking about it. So yeah, that's 100% right.
All right. So try to incorporate that into whether it be your stickers or just a business card or just, I just have a picture on my phone. I have a picture of the QR code on my phone. I say, here, boop, there it is. Right. So like as you're walking around, like the giveaway you're going to do at the next convention, keep that QR code on your phone or on a piece of paper or just something where you can just say, here, scan this as they're getting their free, stickers or whatever. Hey, you like that? Here, scan this real quick. You don't even have to tell them what it is. Just here, scan this real quick. Okay, sure. Boop, whatever. So
Yeah.
and
Yeah, and
then
then it's in their history. It's there on their phone forever.
and as it comes up on their phone, that gives you an open door to talk about what you do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the things for the trade show, because my wife, again, being very shy and uncollected, she's actually thinking about dressing up as like maybe an Ewok or something to avoid any type of communication where then I would become the face and the talking point, and so so she might dance with a giant QR code.
Hey, whatever works as long as you can scan it.
Yeah.
It's funny how a lot of these famous people that are introverts will actually do that. Deadmau5 does that, where he has the
Yeah.
huge head, right? The reason he does that is because he's an introvert so much he doesn't want to like show his face so much, so he puts on this mask. Same thing for Marshmallow. Marshmallow does. I'm an EDM guy. Marshmallow does the
Yeah.
same thing where he puts the mask on, whatever. So who knows? That might work for her.
We were married in our Halloween costumes wearing masks.
Oh, nice. Yeah, my son was actually married on Halloween. That's right. It's coming up. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. Okay. Yeah. So when it comes to the trade shows, you want to take as much advantage as possible of the contact you're going to have and get your name out there. So that's a couple of good ways to be able to do it. Building up your email list. That's one good way to do it. There's other ways to do it too, but I think that would be a great first step for you. Now, as far as after you collect the emails, what do you do with them? Right?
Yeah.
So there's a company called ConvertKit.
Okay.
And they actually have, I personally think, the easiest, best way to give emails and then do email blasts from those emails. And then you could also time emails to where you could do, you have the first welcome, and then in 2 days have another email, and then 3 days after that have another email, and then on the 7th day have a final email. So you get this like funnel you can do. Like on that 7th email, then you could sell a product of some kind. So you have 3 or 4 emails to build up who you are, what you're about, and things of that nature. And then that last email could be like a sales pitch of some kind.
Well, that definitely is a good way, especially when it comes to announcing our new merch, and especially for the people that are interested enough to want to know about it first, because sometimes some of our items are limited to how many we do, and we sign and number them just like an art print. So an email list like that, especially for people that are most interested in our brand, and then that'll give other people the desire to want to be on that list.
Exactly. And keep people up to date. And I only have 100 of these. Who wants them? Right? That kind of thing.
Yes.
So that's awesome. So I would definitely look into ConvertKit and see if that's something you could work with. They're pretty inexpensive. They have a lot of great templates to work with. And I think your first 300 email subscribers is free for the first 60 days or something like that. So you can kind of play with it a little bit and kind of figure things out. They have good tutorials, and there's a ton of YouTube videos on how to use it.
Great. That's good info.
So the other thing, building a community, I think would be super beneficial for you. It sounds like you're kind of building a community already.
We do have a small following that are interested in what we do. Yes.
So like, what would be good is to just actually every once in a while reach out to somebody in that community that you have contact with and just say hello to them, or hey, what do you think of this, or that kind of thing. I don't know if you do that already or not, but like there's a difference between like doing it on Twitter where it's just a DM.
Yeah.
But like when you get their email list, if you're seeing that they're opening your emails and they're responding to you and things like that, that's the type of person you want to start kind of like, hey, how you doing? This is me, that kind of thing. But building a community is a good way to get your name out there, because pretty soon these people in their community are going to talk about to their friends about you, and so on and so on. So, I mean, I've started one on Facebook. It's not very big. But there's other programs like Circle that you could get. that helps build community too. So they all have one person to go to, and then since everybody's kind of talking about the same subject, tattooing and piercing, they're able to talk to each other as well as you, and that
Okay.
community starts to grow that way.
Makes sense.
And then when that community starts building up, you can actually start selling to this community because they're all talking to each other, and you're basically the leader of this community. So you could start selling off of this
Exactly.
community. Now, it sounds like what you want to accomplish ultimately in the end, you're going to have to start up multiple streams of income. So it's not going to be just the stickers and that kind of thing. Needs to be other things that are associated with what you're accomplishing to make multiple streams of income.
Yes.
The couple of things that come to my mind when it comes to multiple streams of income is how-to videos.
Okay.
So like these stickers that she is physically making, these stickers are making these. What is she actually physically making? And that's part of your business.
Yeah, she's doing the digital version of the art to have a third party company print for us, and this third party company is has no minimum, so anyone could easily use it. Stickermule.com,
Oh
which
yeah,
you can have your sticker done. Yeah, they're real big at advertising. They offer great deals if you sign up for their email list. Actually, it's pretty amazing and worth being
yep.
a part of. But yeah, I never just thought about it out loud. But that they actually have a lot of good tutorials that are a little more complicated for not everyone computer savvy that's not as computer savvy can pick up. So what she's doing is iPad digital art and creating how to do it and add like layers and however that digital part works. It's kind of out of my
Right.
realm.
No, my daughter's actually studying to be an animator.
Oh,
So
great.
yeah, so it's like it's the same thing too. She tries to explain it to me, and my brain explodes. So it's so I kind of get that.
Yeah,
So her building a how-to, say on YouTube or something like that, where all she really needs to do is start recording what she's doing when she's doing these drawings and whatnot, and just post them.
okay.
You'll be surprised how many people will actually watch those things just to learn how to draw.
Yes.
And then what you can do is in the video even in the video or even just in the notes of the video, the bottom part that has the words or whatever,
Yeah,
put a link to your website, put a link to your giveaway, put a link to your email list, how to get into your email list, that kind of thing. So if people like what she's doing, they'll click on these links to then become part of your community.
great. Yep, I agree. She has been exploring and making like TikToks with not necessarily how to but more of like the progression of like a tattoo.
Mhm.
Um and our TikTok is Rebel Art Empire, but it is her tattoo side as well, so it's showing both aspects of her career and a how to a lot of people do ask questions, especially with the enamel pin side. um and they need help, and there isn't a lot of reference out there that makes it simple. We want to make it things simple for us as well.
Exactly. And that's kind of what I was thinking too, because I haven't heard a whole lot of people doing that, putting it on YouTube or whatever to see, how these actually work. Now, YouTube do have shorts. I mean, you know that, right? That YouTube
Yes.
actually has shorts that are like TikToks. I
Yep.
would actually start putting that same content that she has on TikTok on the YouTube shorts because you
Okay.
can do that. You can actually reuse content for other things. For example, on my podcast, I actually do a video as well as audio. So I take that video and I put it on a YouTube channel, and then I take clips of that video and use it on my TikTok, and then I take the I take the transcription of the podcast and put it in my website for my blog.
Okay.
So finding ways to use content in different ways in other places saves a lot of time and a lot of headache, and will start building your brand a little bit more.
Yeah, and it all makes sense because we are watching off brand of other people's entrepreneurships. We are watching those videos of their things. So
Hmm.
yes, having our own and all those different resources, especially if you can repurpose the same video and just put it in on more people's computer screens and phones, it makes it the work's already done.
That's right, and it builds your brand, and that's the
Yes.
most important part at the end there. And I was thinking
Yeah.
the same thing for you too. The piercings.
You
Taking
know,
now, as long as obviously if the person's okay with being on the video, you could actually do an instructional video how to pierce.
You know, that is something I've always considered. When it comes to that piercing part and posting those types of videos, it's almost like uh, giving out the magic tricks. So, in my community, among my peers, it's very frowned upon to
Oh,
share that knowledge easily given to the public. Now, and there are people that do it, and then their peers just kind of frown at them. And as much as that would be a really a way to kind of corner that market, because the more of them that are doing it, like would say and be respected, do it through Patreon. So that way, if you are doing it and people are willing to pay for it, even if it's a minimal and respectable price, it seems to be a better version than but just what you just said, you can just let people know on the free medias that it's available.
yeah, and you know what I was thinking too, and this just kind of hit me just now, is actually building a course on how to pierce.
Yes.
And what you could do is sell that course online, and that could be part of like some of the things that you're talking about in videos and whatnot. Hey, if you could even just talk about it and then say, hey, if you want to learn this, you can go to my course and that kind of thing. And then you could use that course. You could sell that course on your social medias. You could sell that course on the email list that you've been building up and that kind of thing. And it sounds like you're pretty experienced. I mean, how long have you been piercing for? It sounds like it's been a while.
Um, uh, 2 decades as a full-time piercer.
Okay. So, like, you obviously have the know how and you have the authority to be able to do that. So, um, putting a course together that you could sell online, you can use Teachable. Teachable is teachable.com. And that will actually, all you really need to do is record it, a section of your course, and then throw it into Teachable, basically down it into Teachable, and it'll throw it into a course that you can sell.
Oh wow.
So, and then honestly, there's ways to sell courses to make sure it's going to work before you actually fully go into it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, build the course, sell it. Well, not even sell it. Give it away to about 4 or 5 trusted people that you understand. Have them watch it and then critique it for you. And then you can make changes and make it better and then sell it for cheap.
Okay.
Sell it for like 25, $30. Get information back from them and just keep building it up. And as you go along, you can make it a little more expensive to get because you're building up a better product. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, I mean, I would experiment with that as another stream of income.
I like it. Well, that's the best way really is to have multiple ways to get on everyone's computer screen. And even someone that's as a piercer, if they're not interested in learning, they're going to feel more confident in my ability just to get their nose pierced, that they're like, oh, he's a online instructor too. Just having that as an accomplishment just will kind of really ensure a little more trust on those new clients that come along. I'm in a college town, so I do get a lot of new clients really every semester. So there's always new faces on top of, the residents that follow me around from place to place that I've been throughout the years.
That's good. Actually, that's really good to have a college crowd come in and be able to talk to you too. You could listen to them and listen to how they communicate, what kind of language they use, because they're going to use a different language than like somebody that sells computers or cars or something like that. That's going to be the demographic that you want to sell to. So listen to the way they talk and listen to the way they describe things and use that same language in your emails, in your courses, whatever. That way you're speaking their language basically.
Yeah, yeah.
Just like we were talking about earlier, where my daughter's speaking a different language, I can't understand it because it's not my thing, right?
Hmm.
Kind of the same idea with them. You want to be able to speak their language. So if you understand their language and they start realizing you're in the same kind of page as they are, they're more apt to be able to work with you.
Yep, and I do feel like a dinosaur these days among the younger groups because I don't follow the same trends. So, as much as I'm supposed to be ahead of those trends because I sell vanity to that age group, I, I'm still learning.
Well, you still want to be yourself. I mean, that's the thing too,
Yeah,
and that's why people are going to want to gravitate toward you. The people that like what you do, they're going to gravitate for you because of you. I mean, you're the one that they're going to want to come see. So, you still want to be yourself and all that.
that's where having my nickname has made it very easy for brand recognition because no one remembers that Anthony did their piercing. Good or bad, they enjoy telling their friends that a guy named Meatloaf did their piercing. So that's
Yeah, a lot of people love saying, "Hey, DJ Scoop, help me out." I mean, that's the whole thing there. And then I work at a restaurant. I'm a server in a restaurant, and they call me Scooby Doo there. So it's a lot
yeah.
easier for me. When I was selling cars, I was the guy in the piano tie. That's why I wear the piano tie.
Oh, great.
And then
Yeah,
it
yeah.
actually,
Oh,
so,
and functional.
yes, and functional. So that's how people remembered me when I was selling cars. They couldn't remember who I was, but now they know I had this piano tie. They played Happy Birthday for their daughter.
That's great.
Stuff like that to
Yeah.
brand yourself for people to remember you. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, those little things have always left a positive taste in people's mouths to keep that memory alive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
I,
Do you have anything else on your mind that you want to talk about and discuss? I mean,
well, I really liked you had said it was called ConvertKit. Was it convertkit.com?
yes.
Okay. Yep. And then teachable.com. I wrote those both down. I actually I really like the ideas of the QR code and an email list. And to be honest, as many email lists as I've signed up for and unsubscribed to throughout time, I'm really shocked that it takes our conversation to really say that that's something I should have been doing sooner, especially it was always in front of me. Um, and that right there is, if I can take anything away from this, that right there is going forward starts now. Um, the QR code, and I 100% agree with that as well because it makes things so much easier. We want to, not everyone remembers Rebel Art Empire, and there are other one-off names that sound similar in all of brands out there. So we're not the only Rebel Art, we're the only Rebel Art Empire, but I'm sure there are Rebel Designs and Empire Art and all those other similarities. So a direct QR code is going to dummy proof, as I like to say, and I try to dummy proof my life is if I had a motto, that's really it is, dummy proof your life and make things as simple as possible. And if you do that, things go a little less stressful. And so yeah, I think really you got the two things that I really needed to have that light bulb pop up on for me.
Good. Good. So, one quick book that I want you to read too,
Okay.
called The Big Leap. And that goes into finding your zone of genius and how to take advantage of it. Now, have you heard of the zone of genius before?
Just through your podcast.
Okay, so that's the book that I use to talk about in my episode 25. I always suggest that for any entrepreneur because it's changed my life. It's changed my thinking on how I present myself, where I want to be in my podcast, and how to get there. So I think it could do the same thing for you too. So just make sure you look into that book, and I always suggest it with just about everybody. So. Let's see what else here.
Yep. Well, good positive thinking is always good.
Oh yes, definitely. Yeah, think about putting some kind of instructional YouTube video between either you or your wife. I think that would be a great tool for you guys to get your name out there.
Yep, I'm gonna talk to her about that. She does enjoy doing those video editing and adding her little personality to those things. So I think another reason to create, I think, would be a fun venture for her.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Okay. Do you have any questions for me? Do you have anything that you want me to go over? Anything you're not sure on? Anything that you want to cover?
Well, I really feel that you said the right things to me to get my gears going forward after our conversation right now. Um,
Okay.
and I will if I do, I'll send you an email every day if I have one.
Well, if when you get that, when you get that email list going, I want you to put me on it.
Oh, excellent.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
So do that.
I will.
All right. So what I'd like to do too is, in about a month or so after you've had that trade show, or let's see, when's that next trade? So did you say it was next week or that?
No, the trade show is not till February. Yeah, so it's still a couple months in advance.
Okay. So I would actually like to get together with you again in about a month's time and just to
Okay.
see how progress is going. And I want to see how things are going for you. I'm not going to charge you for that one either.
Okay.
Okay. And I want to see how things are going too. And then if you want or whatever, and if you feel like I've provided you with some great service, if you can do me a favor and maybe just write a blurb about how I helped you.
Yes.
But I want to make sure everything that I told you is helping you. So do the stuff first, make sure it's working, and then write the thing.
Yeah.
Because if none of that works, it's kind of a moot point.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to. The reason why I do a lot of these first couple for free is because I'm trying to get my name out there as a coach. So
Yes.
having that frame of reference for people to say, "Hey, he helped me, and this is what happened, and it was great," would definitely help me. And instead of charging you, just doing that instead would be great.
And I enjoyed your episode where you had talked to a young lady that was a coach, and then you guys had mentioned that even she had gotten coaching.
Oh yeah, Becca. That was actually a
Yep.
follow up episode for my episode 4. Yeah, she was cool. I really like talking to her. We're actually in pretty close connection. I'm actually in her social group on Facebook, and we talk to each other all the time. But yeah, even the coaches need coaches. That's I thought that was kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's not something I'm used to is discussing anything with my business or personal life, especially with someone I met on the internet. And this is going forward. I enjoyed it, and I'm hoping that well we can have some better transactions going forward.
yeah, that'd be great. I'd love to keep in touch with you and watch you in your entrepreneurial adventure and see where it takes you.
Great. Well, thank
All right.
you.
Absolutely. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for sitting down and talking with me. Um, the last thing I'd like to ask you, what's the one thing you're going to do like right now? As soon as we get off this phone call, what are we going to do?
The first thing I'm going to do is, well, brag to my wife that I have this positive energy to just move forward and create the next chapter in Rebel Art Empire and Mandy and Meatloaf's body art adventure. It's just going to continue growing and not fizzle out or get stale or become unrelevant.
There you go. And if you have any questions about that, you know where to find me, right?
I do.
Okay.
Hey, thank you again, DJ Scoob.
You're welcome.
Hey,
you take care of yourself and contact me anytime, okay?
I will.
Hello, Scoop Believers, and I hope you really enjoyed listening to the coaching that I had with Meatloaf the Piercer, a.k.a. Anthony. He was actually a great guy to talk to, and we're still in close contact on the Twitter there. That's kind of where we met, was on Twitter. He's actually done a lot of great things since that coaching, and I will be following up with him as time goes on, especially after that Comic-Con that he's going to be going to in the next month or two. I got this DM from Meatloaf the Piercer a couple of days after this interview, and I wanted to go ahead and read it to you so you kind of see an update of what he's been up to. So first, I finished the audiobook The Big Leap yesterday. I'm going to start it over on Monday. I really enjoyed it. After our conversation and the book, it really has my gears turning. I figured out how to access the back end of my Piercing and Rebel Art website, and still working on where to start with my email structure and signing up, and what to send out. New pins should be arriving soon from our manufacturer, so we are going to lead with that once they are in hand. I'm still working on how to get my wife equally as excited on my newfound drive for business. Too many ideas seem to be overwhelming her. I'm learning how to be a better business partner at the same time, and I'm only seeing positive results in our days ahead. Thanks again, and I'm sure I'll have more feedback again very soon. Have a great weekend. So it's great to see that he's actually executing on a few things that we've talked about. I really hope he keeps going, and I can't wait to kind of follow up with him. If anybody would like to be coached by me, I would really enjoy talking to you. If you could reach out to me on my email address, which is doingittodaycoaching@gmail.com. And if you want to get coached by me, just like I coached Meatloaf the Piercer, reach out to me and maybe we could put something together for you. Thank you so much for listening today, and we're looking forward to the next podcast. All right, everybody. Thank you. Bye-bye. Hello there, DJ Scoob here, and I just want to personally say thank you for listening to my program. I really hope you learned something. Tune in 2 weeks to listen to another brand new entrepreneur. And remember, I can, I am, I will, and I'm doing it today. As a worker of 2 full-time jobs, running a podcast and coaching, every minute counts in my day-to-day. It's hard to be consistent in any of my social medias. And at this point, I cannot hire a social media manager. Pinnacle AI to the rescue! I've been using Pinnacle AI for a couple of weeks now. I'm seeing big improvements in my outreach and consistency in all my social medias. Do you want to save time and increase your productivity too? Go to tuepodcast.net/AI for more information. Save yourself time and grow your brand. Try it now and see what it can do for you.